Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 114 of the Nigeria Football Weekly podcast. Me, your host, Oke. And today we've got a very, very bump episode for your listening pleasure. Of course, we'll be discussing the latest about Nigerian football, including the NFF unveiling Eric Chelle earlier today in Abuja, who's the new Nigerian national team head coach. Also touching on Tella's big goal for Bayer Leverkusen in the game against Borussia Dortmund, David Okereke's rising form, and Victor Osimhen's regular goal contributions to start the year 2025 and much more. So as I said in the last episode, I spoke about Chelle being unveiled. We now know that he's the 37th head coach of the Nigerian national team since our existence. It's a 2-year deal with an option of another year if we qualify for the World Cup. He's also been handed a supervisory role with the Chan team, so he's not exactly in charge, but he's going to supervise. When it comes to NFF, some things just get as he be. Let's just put it like that. He highlighted his will to attack, and he wants Nigeria to be an attacking team, like I said in my dissecting episode about his playing style. Other members of his team will be Hadi Tabubi, who's going to be the assistant manager, Thomas Gunarek, who's going to be the fitness trainer, and Jean-Daniel Padovani, who's going to be the goalkeeper trainer. So that's it in terms of Eric Chelle and what we can expect from the Nigerian national team. So, as I said, we don't have to worry about Nigeria until March because that's when we're going to play our next games against Rwanda and Zimbabwe. So, we'll do a preview when that time comes. Moving on swiftly to how things went out in club football throughout Europe and also in South Africa, starting with the Premier League. This weekend was FA Cup fixtures, so there was no Premier League games involved. However, it tended to be quite a good FA Cup round for our Nigerian players. In fact, every single one of them's team won a FA Cup third round tie. Starting with Nottingham Forest and Aina. Aina was actually not in the squad, so he was given a rest, which is nice to see. Otaiwa, when he played 74 minutes, as Nottingham Forest beat Luton 2-0 in the FA Cup third round fixture at home on Saturday. Next up for them, they've got the bumper game at home against Liverpool tomorrow night. So today is the 13th of January and the Premier League resumes tomorrow on the 14th of January. We have a full slate of midweek fixtures, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I believe on Thursday as well. So Liverpool and Nottingham Forest will be kicking things off tomorrow. This will be played at the City Ground, so that should be a very, very tough game for Liverpool. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Nottingham Forest can go toe-to-toe against Liverpool. Remember, this season, the only game that Liverpool have lost in the league was to Nottingham Forest at Anfield. So let's see if Liverpool can exact their revenge or somehow Nuno Espirito's boys can make it 2 from 2 against the current league leaders. After that, they'll be playing Southampton at home on Sunday. So no offense, Southampton, but that's going to be a whitewash. And Nottingham Forest should easily win that game. Moving on to Fulham. Fulham were also in action in the FA Cup. Alex Iwobi started this game while Bassey was on the bench as they beat Watford 4-1. Relatively routine game on Thursday. Fulham just outclassed a championship side. Next up for them, they'll be playing West Ham away tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. And then they play Leicester away on Saturday in the Premier League as well. Over Ndidi's Leicester did win their game in the FA Cup, but of course he's still injured with a thigh injury. So we'll continue to monitor and see when he's back to full fitness. As for Southampton, thank God for the FA Cup because it meant that they actually won a game for a change. So Aribo started the game while Uche was on the bench as Southampton beat Swansea 3-0 on Sunday in the FA Cup. Doesn't get any easier for Southampton though. They're going to play Manchester United at Old Trafford on Thursday, who, as you know, beats my Arsenal yesterday on penalties. We're not going to talk about that. But after that game, we'll see Southampton then go away to Nottingham Forest on Sunday. So it's very precarious for Southampton right now. And honestly, you have to say that it's more likely than not that they're going to be relegated for sure, with their 6 points after 19 games so far. So what other Premier League games do you have to look forward to apart from the ones involving Nigerian players? Chelsea host Bournemouth at Stamford Bridge tomorrow as well. We would also see Brentford host Manchester City. That's going to be a very, very, very tasty game, it must be said. And then, of course, as I said, Nottingham Forest will play Liverpool at home. On Wednesday, we've got another 4 games to look forward to. Newcastle host Wolverhampton at St. James's Park. Everton host Aston Villa at Goodison Park in what will be David Moyes' first game in charge of Everton since he got rehired for a second stint as their manager. So that should be a very, very tasty game. Leicester City host Crystal Palace and they probably need to win this game to continue to build any momentum towards potentially staying up in the division. And then the North London derby is taking place on Wednesday. Arsenal versus Tottenham at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal like to lose or get bad results in batches of 3. So we've seen the 1-1 draw against Brighton, lost to Newcastle in the League Cup, and then, of course, losing to Man United on penalties after drawing 1-1, even though Man United had 10 men for most of the second half. So I'm hoping that this bad run of form will end after 3 games. But with Arsenal, you never know. Look, Tottenham, you never know either. They could come and smash us. But I love to think that the fact that they've only beaten us one time in our history in the Emirates Stadium is a good sign. And hopefully, Arsenal can somehow figure it out for Wednesday. On Thursday, we've got 2 fixtures to look forward to. Ipswich Town, who are looking pretty decent, host Brighton. That should be a tasty game for the neutrals. And then, of course, Manchester United will be playing Southampton at Old Trafford. So that's it in terms of the Premier League. In Serie A, we saw Lookman play 61 minutes, but it was not his best game at all. To be fair, Atalanta as a whole struggled in this match. Udinese dominated the game. They drew 0-0, and it just wasn't the best performance for Atalanta. Just looked like it just had a very off night. But thankfully, they'll get the chance to dust themselves off quickly because they've got back-to-back home games. First, starting tomorrow against Juventus, 8:45 p.m. And then they play Napoli at home on Saturday, 8:45 p.m. as well. So hopefully, if they get wins in both of those games, because these are their direct rivals Napoli more for the title, Juventus more for top four. But winning both of those games do them a world of good. So let's see how Ademola and Co can get on. As of Dele-Bashiru, he played 90 minutes, but Lazio unfortunately held to a 1-1 draw by Como on Friday. Not the best result for them, and they're definitely not in the title race anymore because they're now 11 points behind Napoli. However, they sit fourth in the league, so they're likely to still challenge for a Champions League spot alongside Juventus and Fiorentina, and maybe Bologna to an extent. Next up for them, though, they go away to Verona on Sunday, so watch out for that one. Chukwueze and Marika Okoye are both injured, so hopefully we'll see them get back into action soon. In the Bundesliga, pretty good game for Tella. He played 74 minutes and scored his second goal of the season after just 25 seconds. Fantastic goal. The ball just dropped over his shoulder and he banged it with his right foot, volleyed it straight into the back of the net. Honestly, just fantastic. So his first goal this season was against Bayern and now his second goal is against Dortmund. So hopefully he can run up the numbers and show that he's showing us he's a big game player, but can he do it on a consistent basis? That would be what I'd love to see. I believe Tella should be getting called up for the national team every single time. When you think about the profile of player he is and the club he plays for, there's no reason he should not be getting call-ups, in my humble opinion. So hopefully we'll see Chelle do the same in March. Boniface was not in the squad, obviously, because he was injured, but it was a very, very good result for Leverkusen. They beat Dortmund 3-2 away. In fact, they were cruising. It was 3-1 after like 15 minutes in this game. So shout out to Leverkusen as they look like the only worthy challengers to Bayern Munich for the Bundesliga title. Next up for Bayer Leverkusen, they play Mainz at home tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. And then they play Borussia Mönchengladbach at home on Saturday. As for Frank Onyeka's Orban, he played 13 minutes and got a yellow card as they lost 1-0 to Stuttgart on Sunday. Dennis Undav scored the winner in this game. Next up for them, they play Union Berlin away on Wednesday, and then they play Werder Bremen away on Sunday. So let's see how they could get on in those games. Speaking of Werder Bremen, I want the NFF to go and talk to Felix Agu, the left back, man. We don't have as many left backs in our national team pool. So let's go and chase that boy, man. Just see what he needs. Tell him about the Super Eagles and what it means, to wear the badge. And hopefully he could come and play for us. As for Hoffenheim, Gift Urban finally made his debut. He played 60 minutes and he was okay, to be fair. And Kevin Akpoguma played the second half of this game, but Hoffenheim lost 1-0 to Wolfsburg at home. So pretty disappointing result for them. And they continue to stay very close to the relegation zone. It doesn't even get any easier for them because they play Bayern Munich away on Wednesday. And then they play relegation favourites Holstein Kiel away on Saturday. So at the very least, let them beat Holstein Kiel because Bayern is going to be a tough game for them at the Allianz Arena. In La Liga, we saw Uche play 90 minutes and get an assist for Getafe in their 2-1 win over Las Palmas on Sunday. Very, very, very important result for Bordelas. Next up for them, they've got the Copa del Rey this week, in midweek. They'll be playing Pontevedra away on Wednesday, and then they host Barcelona at home on Saturday. Of course, Barcelona are fresh off thrashing Real Madrid 5-2 in the Super Cup, so I'm sure Barcelona are going to come in hungry, even though they're 6 points off the top Atletico Madrid and 5 points off the pace from Real Madrid. You know that Barcelona on any given day, they can give it to anybody. So it's going to be a huge task for Bordelas, but let's see how Uche and his teammates can get on in that game. Sevilla, there's no point speaking on it. Iheanacho's not in the squad. In fact, Iheanacho, please resurrect your career. I don't know where. You're a free transfer and they don't want to play you and it's still June. That means you've only really been there for 4 months and they're ready to bin you. That's not a good sign, though. Ejuke should be back soon anyway, and we know that he has been starting games more often than not. So let's see what happens. Next up for them, they play Girona away on Saturday. As for Valencia, who are rooted to the bottom of the table, of course, they've signed Omar Sadiq on loan. He played 21 minutes in their 1-1 draw against Sevilla on Saturday, and he got a yellow card instead of a goal. But, we move and we see how it gets on. Hopefully, he'll play against Urense away on Tuesday tomorrow, 9 p.m. kickoff in Copa del Rey, so he could get some confidence going. And then, of course, interesting enough, he'll be playing Real Sociedad at home on Sunday. Now, the difference is in La Liga, even if you're on loan, you can play against your parent club. So let's see if Omar Sadiq plays in this game. And if he does, we know he'll be chomping at the bits to show Real Sociedad what they're missing. But if we're being honest, Real Sociedad are a far better team than Valencia. So that's going to be an interesting game to watch. And then finally, in terms of the top 5 leagues in Ligue 1, Ilenikhena is out with a groin injury, so I wish him a speedy recovery as his Monaco team drew 2-2 to Nantes. Speaking of Nantes, Moses Simon did play in this game the whole 90 minutes in the 2-2 draw on Friday. France will also be in French Cup action over the midweek. Everyone's doing their domestic cups right now. They play Brest away in the French Cup on Wednesday, and then they play Saint-Etienne away on Sunday, 3 p.m. kickoff. So Saint-Etienne are currently bottom of the table or second to last. So Nantes would expect to win this game. So let's see how they get on there. Hamza Ojirioro, the central midfielder I like to talk about, he came off the bench to play the final 33 minutes for Lens as they beat Le Havre 2-1 on Sunday in the league. Next up for them, though, they've got the hardest task you'd have in France. They're going to play PSG at home, 5 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. So let's see how he gets on and hopefully he can start in this game. As for Akko Adams, he did win the penalty for Montpellier, played 90 minutes, but unfortunately they lost 3-1 to Angers, which means that they continue to remain in the relegation zone. And it doesn't even get any easier for them. They're playing Monaco at home on Friday. So we might as well write that one off as a loss. So that's it in terms of the French league. Moving on to Turkey, star boy Victor Osimhen. He was rested in midweek in Galatasaray's 2-2 draw against Istanbul Basaksehir in the Turkish Cup. However, he played 90 minutes over the weekend and got an assist in their 2-1 win over the same opponents on Sunday. So they continue to storm and run away with the league in Turkey, to be honest. Next up for them, they play Hatayspor away on Friday. As for Fenerbahce, Osayi-Samuel played 90 minutes as Fenerbahce beat Kasımpaşa 3-0 in Turkish Cup on Thursday. And earlier today, I know they were just playing their game against, who was it again? Konyaspor. So it's currently 2-2 at halftime. Çağlar Söyüncü has scored for Fenerbahce and he's currently on the bench in this particular game. So we'll see if Osayi-Samuel gets minutes in this game. But if they draw this game, they might as well forget the league. I mean, they're already far behind Galatasaray. So any more drop points and it's all over Jackie, don't cry, don't beg. I mean, at the moment, they're 10 points behind if it remains as a draw. And Galatasaray are not going to mess up 4 games. While Fenerbahce are just going to be running away with the league. So they need to better fix up and get goals in this game. Anyway, after this game, they'll play Demirspor away on Sunday, 5 p.m. kickoff. As for Gaziantep, they've moved up to 8th in the league in Turkey. David Okereke was initially rested in the Turkish Cup as they won 4-0 against Istanbulspor. However, he played 86 minutes over the weekend and scored the only goal of the game as Gaziantep beat Demirspor 1-0 on Sunday. So his form continues to pick up and he continues to play pretty well, which is good to see, even though we have to acknowledge the strength of the league. Next up for Gaziantep, they play Bodrumspor at home on Saturday, 2 p.m. kickoff. Moving on to Portugal, and good to see Zedu Sanusi return from injury. He finally played a few minutes for Porto, 26 minutes to be exact, in their 1-0 loss to Sporting Lisbon in the League Cup on Tuesday. And then over the weekend, he was benched in their 2-0 loss in their game to Nacional. To be honest, he should have played because at the moment they're playing Galeno as a makeshift left back. Galeno is a left winger. So hopefully in the next game on Sunday against Joe Vicente, we will see Zedu Sanusi get some minutes. As for Bruno Yemachi, his team were not in action over the weekend. I'm not really sure why. But next up, they'll play Casapia at home on Monday, later tonight. Anyway, in Belgium, Todora Gudari played 11 minutes for Genk in their 4-0 win over St. Truden on Tuesday in the Belgian Cup. And then he played 69 minutes over the weekend as they beat OH Leuven 2-0 in this game. Chukwueze Okwemesi also played 90 minutes for OH Leuven, but he didn't get in on the goals. But Genk remain top of the league in Belgium. Next up, they play Club Brugge away on Wednesday in the Belgian Cup. That's a heavyweight tie by any stretch of the imagination, so look out for that one. And then they play KV Mechelen away on Saturday in the league. As for Club Brugge, Rafa Onyeka is back from his injury, which is very good to see, especially with March March should be here in no time, and we need Onyeka to play for the Super Eagles. I'll lie to you. He's currently our best central midfielder for sure. He played 90 minutes on Sunday as Club Brugge beat Anderlecht 3-0. So they're currently second and looking pretty good for the title. Next up for them, they play Genk at home in the Belgian Cup. So let's see if he's rested or if he plays in that game. And then they play Beerschot at home on Saturday. As for Jordan Torunariga, he played 90 minutes for Ghent in their 0-0 draw against FCV Dender on Sunday. Next up for him's team, they play Sporting Charleroi at home on Friday. In the Scottish League, Cyril Delles was benched yet again as Rangers drew 1-1 against Dundee on Thursday, and then he played 25 minutes off the bench in a 3-1 win over St. Johnstone on Sunday. We know that Leon Balogun is currently injured, so we wish him a speedy recovery. Next up for Rangers, they play Aberdeen, who are currently second in the league, on Wednesday at home, 9 p.m. And then they play Fraserburg at home on Sunday in the Scottish Cup. But there's no way they're going to win the Scottish League. They're done. Celtic got too far ahead, and it's not going to happen. As for Tarinabali and his team, they were not in action over the weekend, but they will be in action this Saturday against Maruma Gallants at home. So look out for that one for Tarinabali. And hopefully he's in the right mental space to play this game after the unfortunate news he shared at the beginning of the year concerning his mother. Now, the ones to watch for the week. Tomorrow, we've got Premier League action with Alex Iwobi and Kevin Bassey's Fulham going away to play against West Ham. And then Ademola Lookman's Atalanta will be hosting Juventus. That's a big game in the Serie A title race. And then Aina and Taiwo Awoniyi will be in action for Nottingham Forest at home against Liverpool. 9 p.m. kickoff Nigeria time. On Wednesday, more tasty football. Gift Albert and Kevin Akpoguma go to Allianz Arena to play Bayern Munich away. 8:30 p.m. kickoff. And then we see two Nigerians battle in the Belgian Cup with Rafael Yedika's Club Brugge hosting Toro Akadare's Genk in the Belgian Cup. On Thursday, we then see Aribo and Onuachu go to Old Trafford to play Manchester United in what will be a very tough game for the Southampton outfit. And then on Friday, we see our star player Victor Osimhen's Galatasaray go away to play Hatayspor at a 6 p.m. kickoff game. And then also Battle of Nigerians. Akko Adams Montpellier will be hosting George Ilenikhena's Monaco if he's fit. So look out for that game on Friday. As for Saturday, Premier League action is back with Alex Iwobi and Kevin Bassey going away to play with Ndidi's Leicester. Even though Ndidi is currently injured, we will then see Hamza Ojediron's Lens host PSG at home, 5 p.m. kickoff. So look out for that game. Atalanta have got another very tasty game at home against Napoli, and I'm hoping that Lookman could rub salt into the wounds because it looks like Napoli are going to lose Kvaratskhelia. After all their Shakari Osimhen, now all their star players are trying to leave. So, and then Getafe, Christian Uche will be hosting Barcelona. Let's see what Bordelas can do in this game on Saturday night, 9 p.m. kickoff Nigeria time. To wrap up on Sunday, we'll see Aina and Taiwo Awoniyi's Nottingham Forest go up at home against Southampton with Aribo and Onuachu potentially in action in 3 p.m. kickoff. And then we'll see Omar Sadiq return to his parent club as Valencia host Real Sociedad in La Liga, and they're in desperate need of 3 points in this game. Starboy of the week for this week, I've got to give the bronze medal to Victor Osimhen. He got an assist and continues to be involved massively in terms of the gameplay for Galatasaray. He's been a strong influence on their team, and he's one of the few players right now that could say that his team is currently top of their league alongside Tolu Akadare. Yes, we've got the Serie A boys and the Leverkusen boys who are challenging for the title, but right now their teams are not currently first. So look out for that, and could Victor Osimhen continue to shine. Silver position, I'm going to give it to David Okereke for scoring the winning goal for Gaziantep. He's now got 2 goals in 2 games to start the year. It's his 5th goal in the league, and it looks like he's finally heating up as he settled into Gaziantep. Gold medal for this week, Nathan Tella, potential star boy of Super Eagles, man. I want to see him give Chukwueze a run for his money at right wing. Tella can also play as a striker. Look, when you play for Leverkusen, even if you come on as a sub more often than not, he must be a very good player. And it looks like he's beginning to get a bit more minutes as Xabi Alonso trusts him more and more as season progresses. So for him to score a sumptuous volley away against Borussia Dortmund in their very hostile stadium in a must-win game for Leverkusen, all Boniface is injured. After 25 seconds as well, it was really amazing to see. And long may his success continue. So Nathan Tella, you are the star boy of the week. Nigeria news to just bring up. I wanted to mention, obviously I was talking about Chelle, but commiserations to Ebenezer Akinsanmiro. He was racially abused as his Sampdoria's team were playing against Prezia on Sunday. He responded to the fans after Sampdoria scored and did like a monkey sign. And annoyingly, the referee gave him a yellow card for inciting provocation, which is very stupid. And then his manager took him off. But Akinsanmiro, we're with you. We know how awful these things are and how it feels. So really was one of the times to keep his head up, keep shining, bro. and prove those people wrong. And Italy, please do something, man. We have a lot of Nigerians playing in your good teams, but this cannot continue. So please find a way to stamp this rubbish out. Thank you. And then final word, that's it for this episode of the podcast. Football galore. Honestly, there's so much football to watch this week. Thanks again for rocking with me, guys. I promise you we're coming bigger and better. Whether it's quality, sound, camera, bobo, we're coming. But please enjoy the football that's coming over the next 7 days. Continue to like, share, and subscribe if you listen on YouTube, and click the bell for a notification every time we drop an episode. Please spread the word if you like to listen on DSP channels, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcast, or anywhere where you can listen to a podcast. We're also Nigeria Football Weekly on all social media channels except Twitter, where we're at NFWPOD. I appreciate every single listener. Take care, enjoy the football, and I'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell to get a notification whenever we drop a video. You can also find our social media channels listed below. And of course, up Super Eagles and Nigeriano they ever carry last.